it is not always about the promises that you make to other people. It is often, always, the promises that you make to yourself that matter most. I'm Tinti, and welcome to Know Your Worth. So this is the second episode of me doing this, and if you were here last week, then you know what we're about to do. We're still unpacking and discovering our worth. So I wasn't feeling all that great, something only women can relate to, and I'm not being sexist, I'm just being factual. And I said, because I'm not feeling 100%, I'm not gonna do this. But then I also said, wait, I made a promise to myself that no matter what happens, I am going to record a video or upload a video every 7 days. And today is that day, so I have to do it. And then I had a little debate with myself. I said, well, nobody's waiting for this video, nobody's gonna know. And then I said, well, I'm gonna know. And it really segues so beautifully into unpacking Know Your Worth into this series, because how often do we always go above and beyond to keep the promises that we make to other people, because we don't want to look bad, we don't want to disappoint them, we want to be the person of the man or the woman of our words, because our word is our bond. But why don't we have the same energy towards ourselves? And I asked myself this question as I really took stock to say, how many times do I inconvenience myself to keep a promise that I made to other people? How many times do I even make promises to people even though I know I have no business making those promises, or I have no capacity to fulfill those promises? But when the time comes, I stretch myself to the limit. I go over my limit so that I can keep a promise that I make to the promises that I make to other people. But I don't do the same for myself. I say whenever I promise myself something, when I go back on my word, on the promise that I made to myself, my go-to statement to say is, no one's gonna know. But I know. And it does keep me up at night. It does stress me. It stresses me quite a lot to know that I do that to myself, and it chips away at how I show up. It chips away at my confidence, at the belief that I have in myself, because I disappoint myself so much that I don't trust myself anymore. And when people disappoint me, I take it, because I say, well, I do that to myself anyway, so of course somebody else is gonna do it. So I take it, and that again chips away at our worth. When somebody lies to you, you often forgive them because you lie to yourself all the time, so you're used to that disappointment. But if you turn things around, if you stop lying to yourself, if you treat yourself legitimately like the person that you truly love and you truly adore, and the person that you don't ever want to lose, you will never ever accept somebody else treating you that way. If you are honest and you make promises to yourself and then you keep those promises, you will never ever allow anybody to break promises to you. For example, how many times have you said to yourself, promised yourself, I know I have, I will never allow anyone speak to me that way again, or I will never put myself through that thing again, or I will never be that broke again, I will never be that unhappy again, I will never be that miserable again, I will never be with such a partner again. And then again you do it, and then again you spend your last, and especially on things that you don't necessarily need, or on things that will secure your survival. How many times have you gone back to that person who has treated you not so nice before? You are breaking that promise to yourself. And once you get to that point, and when we get to that point, people often look at us like, you've changed, or so and so is different, or ever since you moved, you changed. Ever since you started working at a so and so place, you changed. Ever since you discovered this, you've changed. It's not that you've changed, it's that you started treating yourself better than they treat you. That's why people will think that you changed, because if you take a closer look, It is never people that are nice to you and that are kind to you and they treat you gently and they are honest and loyal to you that will say you've changed. It is always people that have treated you sideways that will say, oh, she's changed, oh, she is so different, or ever since she started dating that person, she is so different. Of course you're different, especially when you are with somebody that treats you the way that you want to be treated, the way that you deserve to be treated. Of course you are going to change, because if you are with somebody who makes you feel good about yourself all the time, who is considerate with your feelings, who listens to you, who meet your needs, why would you then go be with people who don't do that for you? Of course you are going to change, because you know better now, you are treated better now, therefore you move better, you move differently, you do things differently, you think differently, you see yourself differently, and you love yourself better, you love yourself more, you trust yourself more, because you show up for yourself more. And that is how our worth then starts to kick in, especially how we show up with other people or around other people. You don't go just anywhere anymore. And I've realized that with me so much that I often say I'm a homebody. But the truth of the matter is I'm very outgoing. I always say I'm an introvert, but I'm an introvert that likes to be outside. The problem is the people that I used to be outside with, afterwards I come back feeling so drained. I come back feeling like they have sucked that bit of energy that I had for myself, because I've always had to give and give and give and give, and I'm running on empty, and by the time I come back I have nothing left for myself. And I often say I would rather stay home. When people invite me places, I know who they are, I know how they move, I opt to stay home because I know what it requires to be around them. I always have to have my guard up, I always have to be the entertainer. Like if I don't say anything, then the conversations are not going anywhere. If I'm not making the jokes, nobody's laughing, and then that kind of energy is really just exhausting. By the time you get back home, or by the time you're on your own, you have nothing left for yourself. You just want to pass out, and that could be a waste of an evening where I could have finished a chapter or listened to a podcast or crocheted something or did something productive, as opposed to just having conversations with people who are just going to be like, oh, you are so funny, oh, you are so fun to hang around, oh, you are this, you are that, and that is all they contribute. And that is how you also determine your worth. People need to know that when they are with you, they get this, but what do you get from them? What do you benefit? Because I always look at things that way, that what requires me to leave my house, because we go through all this routine to get ready to leave the house. And I'm not talking about how we look on the outside, I'm talking about the internal preparation, only to go outside and then come back feeling low. I'd rather not go. If I'm gonna come back feeling like nekyakai, I'd really rather not go. I'd rather stay home and do the things that fill me up and that make me happy, and have snacks that I like, and drink drinks that I like, and watch what I like, and read what I like, and just do what I like. Because often enough in social situations, everybody is social, and when everybody has their phone out, it's all good and great. When everybody's on TikTok or they're on any social media platform, they're scrolling, it's all great. But you pull out a book and then all of a sudden you're the one that's antisocial, and you're like, but everybody's on their phone, why can't I pull out a book? Because I don't want to be on my phone. I don't find anything interesting on my phone. Or if I'm going to be on my phone, I'm researching something. So that's okay. It makes it so difficult to hang around people. And then you always get people who be like, I remember I was in a setting and I pulled out a book and I was reading, and somebody was like, so you're going to read that whole thing? Don't you get bored? Don't you, oh, reading makes me fall asleep, or this or that. But they're on their phone. And I'm like, but you're on your phone. And I'm not even asking you what you're looking at. You're just staring at other people do whatever they want to do, and you're laughing at that. And I'm trying to read this information and take it in. It's just the same thing. I mean, and I could be reading a book about somebody cooking. You know, that is still my favorite book. That ghostwriter. It's a book about a ghostwriter who writes for chefs, and yeah. And I read about gossip. It's people's business. It's the same as social media. It's just that yours is videos and images and this and that, and mine is just text. But we have this image of, or people have this image of you. There are some people who are in settings and they pull out a book and it's fine. But when it's you, it's like, you're always on your book, or you always have a book with you, you're always on your phone. It's all there's always something. So when you have to hang around people and you know that you're gonna come back feeling low, don't go. It's really that simple. And people that are gonna hang around you, that are worth hanging around you, are gonna understand you. Sometimes you wanna go to the bathroom and just really take 15 minutes to yourself, and when you come back, you're not gonna be cross-questioned. Because sometimes you need a break from people, not because I'm ready to go home, but like, can I just take a pause? Can I just take a breather? Because you need to recharge. So our worth often is tied to that. How does hanging around with certain people make you feel? Take stock of that. What does it take to keep promises to people? Are those people gonna return the same energy when you need them to keep the promises that they've made to you? Or are they okay with disappointing you, but you're not okay with disappointing them? So those are week 2, because last week we've determined what it is that we want to do. Now this week we're determining how we want to move. With your skill, with your talent, with your passion, where do you want to do it? Who's your target market? Who's your club? Who's your tribe? Figure them out and start going to those places, and stop going to places when you come back you need 2 days to recover from an afternoon out. Let us carry on figuring out our worth. Remember, it is not the promises that you make to other people that matter most. It is the promises that you make to yourself and that you keep to yourself that are most important. Don't let yourself down. Don't be dishonest with yourself. Don't disappoint yourself. Don't lie to yourself. Be kind to yourself and treat yourself like somebody that you absolutely love, and treat yourself like somebody that you don't want to lose. I'll see you next week. This is Know Your Worth.